Hello and welcome to the Lisa Horton Crafts channel. My name's Wendy. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a beautiful Christmas card using the new Christmas Romance papers from Lisa Horton Crafts. I'll also be using the washi tape that coordinates with the paper pack and includes a beautiful set of sentiments. I'll use the Under the Mistletoe 3D embossing folder and die, the nested torn edge circles, the Christmas rose stamps and dies, and also I'll use the die that comes with the Snowflake sentiment set. I'm going to use the die to make the stopper for my easel card. I'll also use a small amount of the beautiful EUPHORIA glitter cardstock. So to start off, I'm going to take a piece of the glitter cardstock and I'm just going to secure the mistletoe die to the cardstock before I run it through my die cutting machine. I'm going to do this twice because I want 2 mistletoe branches. I'll take the embossing folder and carefully position each of these branches into the folder. I'll then pass them through my die cutting machine to give each branch beautiful texture and detail. I'm just showing you the detail here close up. I'll also take 2 pieces of white glitter cardstock and I'm going to cut the berries out of this. I'll pass them through the embossing folder exactly the same, just to add more detail, and then I'll use my small scissors to fussy cut round before I adhere these berries to the mistletoe branches. I think these little finishing touches make all the difference to this card. Next I'm going to use the nested torn edge circle dies to create my card base. I've got a panel of card that's 5.5 by 11 inches folded in half, and I'm going to position the largest of the circle dies so that it overhangs the fold at the top of my card. You can just see it here if I turn it over. When I pass this through my die cutting machine, it won't cut through the fold. So this is the basis of my easel card. I need to put a crease line in the centre of one of these panels, so you can see me doing that here on my scoreboard, and this is my easel card. Next I'm going to use the same size circle die on the same cardstock and I'm going to run it through again to get a panel that I will then adhere to the bottom of the card base I've already created, and this is my shaped easel card. The next thing I'm going to do is start to decorate my easel card. So I've cut out 2 pieces of the washi tape from the roll and I'm going to adhere these to my circular card base elements. I'm going to use the dies to cut these out. I've chosen the next size down from the set, but first I'm going to stick the washi tape to pieces of card before I run them through my die cutting machine. I find that by doing this it makes them a little bit more substantial, but you can quite easily just stick them to the card base. Here you can see I've cut them out and adhered them to the top and bottom. I'm also going to use some of the sentiment strips. Again, I've adhered them to some white card and I've then cut them out using my guillotine. You can see them here. I'm now going to take a piece of paper from the Christmas Romance pack and I'm going to use this in conjunction with the Christmas Rose stamps. I'll be taking the 2 smaller size stamps as shown here and I'm placing them in my stamp positioner. I'll just pick them up with the lid, I run them over with anti-static bag, and now I'm using some clear embossing ink, making sure that they're very well inked up. I'm applying pressure to make sure that I transfer the ink. I'm now applying some gold embossing powder and then I'll just brush off any residue. I'm warming up my heat tool now. I want to make sure it's nice and hot before I start to melt the embossing powder. I like to warm it from the back first before I heat from the top. I think it gives a better result and it doesn't warp your paper as much either. I think this is a beautiful stamp and the gold embossing is beautiful. I'm now going to take the dies that come with the stamp and I'm going to fasten these to the Christmas roses. I'm using some tape to adhere them into place. I'm going to do both of these at once because of the tape, so there's no risk of damaging the dies. I'll take my scissors and just cut out the small amount of card. I don't want to waste any because it's so precious. And then I'll run this through my die cutting machine. And here they are, all cut out beautifully. The next thing I'm going to do is to create my Christmas rose. I will take each one in turn and I'll just use some small scissors to snip down into the petals. The reason why I like to do this is because it allows you to shape the petals over your finger, giving them a nice curve. It adds dimension to each flower. I'll do this for both of them. You can see me doing the small one here. And then when I'm happy, I'll use some wet glue and adhere the two together. I like to use wet glue because I think it works better on an embossed surface. I'm just staggering the petals for a more natural look. And this is the finished rose. Next, I've taken another sheet of paper from the Christmas Romance pad and I've fussy cut all the elements that you can see here. I'll use these to decorate my card. I've put my card first on the envelope that I'm going to be using to post it. And this means that when I position my elements, I know how far out they can protrude. I'm going to put some music on now while you watch me stick all the elements to my card. Now I need to make the stopper for the easel card. I'm going to use the die that comes with the snowflake sentiment set to do this. I'll take the die and I'll cut some coordinating cardstock. This will be my stopper that I'll position on the lower part of the easel card, and this will allow the card to stay open. The first thing I need to do is raise it up, so I'm going to adhere some foam strips to this. This will give it a nice amount of dimension. And this is how the card will stay open. Then I'm going to take the same elements that I pre-cut before and I'm going to decorate my stopper. Again, I'll put some music on while you watch me do this. My card stopper is now ready to be positioned onto the easel card base. What I'm going to do is just work out where I want to position it before I adhere it down. The first thing I'm going to do is take some Easel, just a small amount, and I'm just rolling it up into a nice manageable piece. I'm going to use some glue stick, which I'm applying to the base of the easel card, and I'll fasten the Easel to this. Then I'm going to take some wet glue. I'll peel off the backing strips from the foam adhesive, put the wet glue onto the foam adhesive, and this allows me a little bit of manoeuvrability when I position my stopper on the card. It just means I can make sure that the stopper is in a nice place, so when you open the card it looks good. So my card's nearly finished. The last thing I'm going to do is just take some of the extra elements that I fussy cut from the paper pad, and I'm going to tuck these underneath my card stopper. I like to use the pieces that were cut from around the edge of the paper pad. You don't notice that they've got missing bits because you tuck them under and nobody else would know. I'm also going to add a few natural little flower buds, and you'll see me doing this shortly. I'll just put some music on again while I carry on. And here's my finished card. All of the products I've used today will be listed below in the video description. Thank you for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss future videos from the Lisa Horton Crafts channel. Bye for now!